Emmett Jerome, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, I'm fucking gasping. I'm coughing here before we came on, so let's do it. You know how to split the E or split the G? So
I crushed it when we were at Johnny's.
We did. We all crushed it that night. Actually,
that was a good night, but I don't.
You ready?
We'll see if we can match that.
Unreal.
I overdid it.
I underdid it.
Oh fuck!
Between the two of us now, we
need to
split
do
the difference.
Round. Split the difference.
Yeah. Turn it around there so we show the camera.
There we go. I came in way too hot.
We'll get the next one. We'll get the next one.
To do the next one.
Yeah. Let's get another round.
Thanks, Smiths.
Yeah.
Brought to you in part by
Smiths and Forge. Yeah, we'll get another one. So music and well, let's start off. Where did it all begin? At home in Alberta.
Oh yeah.
I heard that your father was classically trained.
Yeah.
No way. And you didn't find out until you were 8.
Well,
he was keeping secrets.
like so. Okay, it's cool because I love that story because it was so inspiring for me, and it's one of those things that, like as a kid sticks out because my dad was classically trained.
Did he perform like classically trained?
Yeah, I mean he would have done like festivals and stuff like that,
No
like
way.
classical festivals. You do your Royal Conservatory of Music, so he did all the grades of that, and he worked his way up. So he's a talented guy. What I love about my dad at the same time of doing all that, he was a hockey player. And
What?
He was like fucking getting into fights and getting his hands busted.
How many
up.
teeth has got?
He's got no teeth. He's got very few teeth. Yeah. He takes his teeth out at night. He's got a few. Yeah.
Go on. So you played hockey.
But so he was like a hockey player. He's from this small town in Ontario. So you can imagine that it probably wasn't that cool to be like a classically trained piano player. But on the side, he was like shredding piano. And I never knew that because by the time he'd, had us kids, he'd been working construction for years. And like being in the trades, his hands did not do that anymore. Like
No way.
They're all scarred up and cut and stuff
It's fucking
like that.
arthritis and everything.
Yeah, like everything. And so I never heard him play. But the day I did hear him play that stuck out in my mind was we had a little piano at home, but there was one time we were at the...
Was there like encouragement when you were a child?
There was no like push, but my parents loved music.
Yeah.
And hearing my dad play on like a grand piano, we were visiting the Fairmont Hotel in Banff, Alberta.
Nice.
We would always go every year on my parents' anniversary. And
Nice.
we'd go and we'd hang out in the hotel and like have lunch. And my dad sees this giant piano and he goes and he sits down at it.
Were you expecting chopsticks or something?
And he's it could have been anything because 8-year-old me, your dad's like a wizard.
Yeah.
So he sits down and he starts playing, and
way.
it's in this big hall, and it's this huge piano. And they open the lid up; these things are loud. So he's like, go, and like,
No way.
and I'm like, what was that? Like, what the fuck just happened? He's like, I just made it up. Like, I just improvising some
Holy
stuff.
fuck.
So, yeah, I never really I've never really been able to grasp because I don't really have very many memories of my dad playing and like. My dad's alive, by the way.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But he doesn't. Yeah, my dad. But he doesn't play any. He doesn't play any piano anymore. His fingers literally don't work to do
He's
that.
nearly like the Alberta Rodriguez. Do you know what I mean?
One day they're gonna fly back out. They're gonna be like, Dennis. Dennis.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Dennis
like
doesn't have the same ring to it.
No. Rodriguez. Oh man. When you from 8, then did you jump on the music bandwagon? From
I jumped on music
pretty
quick. Like I remember that being like that planted a seed of like absolute wonder,
astonishment.
I just blown away. I'd never heard anything like that. Never seen anything like that. And we had a music program in my school, so I was playing trombone.
Oh,
and I was playing saxophone at like maybe 9 or 10 years old.
No way.
And
why did you pick that for your first intro?
Dude, they don't even like. You're kind of voluntold. Like they said, they were. I think I would have. Yeah, I think I probably wanted to play the drums, but they were like, we can get you a trombone. So I played the trombone, and it was cool, but
It's so awkward though, isn't it? It's massive. to be
oh
carrying
yeah,
around.
and I had a hunch. Even then, I was like, "This isn't very cool." Like, so I told. So I remember what I did. I told all my friends. I was like, "Yeah, like I'm not gonna play the trombone. I'm gonna play the guitar. Like it's gonna be cool." And I didn't know how to play the guitar. I didn't know anyone with a guitar. I'd never even touched a guitar. I didn't know what a guitar did. But I just told them all. I was just talking shit. I was like, "I'll get a guitar." So I remember saving up, like, you know, the way you do when you're like 10 years old. Just like mowing lawns and doing literally that kind of stuff.
Car wash.
And like I think I got $200 together to buy a guitar, and I bought this guitar, and that was it. Like I was just like loved it from day one.
Did you ever go on the keys and learn after the OLED? No.
No, like.
You were like, I'm doing my own thing.
I don't know why I wanted to play guitar either, though. Like,
it's kind of cooler.
Like, I don't know why. Like, the weird thing with that is, though, like, I was 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, had this fixation. I was like, I need to play the guitar. And no one I knew played.
Did you go electric or did you go acoustic?
I had an electric guitar. I bought an electric guitar.
Shit.
And didn't have anybody to teach me or anything. I was like, no, I'm gonna figure it out. And I just did it. And committed, and it just sucked for a really, really long time. And but I just kind of told myself, like, no, you're gonna figure this out. And I just kind of went for it.
So extended gratification, I suppose. You know.
I don't know if the gratification's hit yet.
No,
we're working on it.
It's like, I can always be better.
Yeah, I still am like, what the fuck am I doing? But we're working on it. Oh
no,
but that's kind of how it started. So I started like being a kid and just like getting some good influences earlier on. My mom had an awesome record collection.
What was in the record collection?
Man, Bob Marley was probably
that new movie's out tomorrow. You know that? Bob Marley movie is out tomorrow. Yeah.
Are you gonna go?
Not tomorrow, but maybe.
No? I feel like I've seen enough Bob Marley like merchandise. And
I know, and there was a couple of documentaries out there for a while as well. But I'll
listen to the music. he's had his piece.
How long can you listen to Three Little Birds? No, but fucking only in summertime. No, man, he's fucking amazing though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bob Marley.
You should
and the
do
Wailers.
a spin-off, like split the bong water and just.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You're just in here talking about Bob Marley.
I have to shit my pants.
My mom. My mom had good records. Bob Marley, Willie Nelson, Dire Straits. I was like fucking love the Dire Straits, and like some good. Neil Young was in there as well. So kind of like classic.
Keeping it with the Canadians.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and keeping it like pretty like. BB King was in there, and like a lot of good blues stuff. She had like I remember she had like a Best of the Blues record, and it had like Etta James and Muddy Waters and stuff. That was like a huge. Yeah, my mom was into Nina Simone, and like my mom's side of the family is black. My mom's half black.
No way.
Her mom was really into soul music and blues music.
No
right?
way,
And, like,
man.
was
That's
a big
so
Nina
cool.
Simone fan. So like my mom's side of the family is like very well cultured with music. You know.
Yeah.
You know they all the nitty gritty like real stuff. You know, my mom would have been brought up.
You kind of like
listening
that
to
wade
them.
into water,
No.
all that, bringing back some memories. Yeah.
Like cool stuff. So
Yeah.
I think my mom had like really good taste. I think.
Unreal.
Yeah. So.
It helps a lot when your parents influence you like with good music. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like
It literally
I know
sets you
that
on
I wouldn't have done it if it hadn't been my parents influencing me. And you know, when I was I used to be a music teacher. That's what I would tell parents. I was like, unless you play music for your kids, unless you take them to concerts, unless you get them excited about it, why? They're not going to care.
Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised it wasn't pushed on you more. Or it seems like you just picked it up and you ran with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like music's in your blood.
It's funny because my parents are both so into music.
Yeah.
They didn't push any of us as kids, but my brother and I both played. My brother played drums and he played bass.
No
and,
way.
Like I played guitar and we would sing we would play together all the time. So like that was, but it was never pushed, and I'm glad that they didn't push it. And you know, it was just kind of, we were just kind of left, it was left to our own devices. Like, I think they were like, okay, go do your thing.
Go get busy. Stay away from me. Get in the room there.
I don't think my parents probably had time to push it on us.
We're cooking dinner here. Like, get the fuck in the room.
They were trying to raise a family. They're like, if you want to go do that, power to you.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
So you were a child, 8 years of age.
Yeah.
Then when were you like confident enough and I suppose old enough to, when did you start like hitting bars and performing?
I was 14 when I started getting paid to play.
No way.
And I was 14 and I started like up until I had a job when I was 14. I remember I was washing dishes. I was washing dishes at one place.
You elevated from lawns to
I
dishes.
know. I moved up, and I was scooping shit as well, which was probably
picking up dog shit.
I was picking up horse shit. I would pick up horse shit, and it was awesome because I got to drive a tractor around. And
nice.
At that age, I was like, fuck yeah. But then I'd play a gig. I'd be making $10 an hour doing these other jobs, and I'd play a gig. They'd give me like $300.
Oh no way.
Or something like that, and I'd just like, what?
Holy fuck.
Or I'd go and busk, and I remember one time busking, and I remember I busked one weekend over Christmas, and I made almost $1,000. Wow. And I was like, I was like a kid. I was literally a child, and like blown away.
And this is growing up in Bragg Creek.
Bragg Creek.
Bragg Creek. And the population you were telling us
like 2,000
2,000 people.
Yeah, so it's like...
Was there like competition or were you the only
No, there's no... that's probably why I rose to the ranks of the preeminent Bragg Creek guitar player in about 6 months. I was playing in a band with all adults. And stuff.
Sweet.
Like I was like
there's a way to
playing
learn
in a band.
too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like these guys were such a great influence because they were like great dudes, and they put me onto all this great music. And looking back on it, like at a time, it didn't feel weird that all these guys, grown ass men, were like, yeah, let's like hang out with this kid. But I wouldn't want to hang out with someone that age. But they were like cool about it.
That's unreal.
And that was a good influence, and really good influence, and yeah, like the roots of it were very impactful. It was like great music at home and meeting cool people like from day one that were playing and jamming together, and having these cool interactions, and realizing that you could get paid to do this way more than I could get paid to do anything else. And
at that age as well.
At that age, like it blew me away, but it also planted that seed of like, oh no, like this is worthwhile. Like this is definitely worthwhile, more than just for you. Like this can be worthwhile for other people too. So like keep going and figure that out. So that's a big part of who
that's
I
such
am.
a gift.
Yeah.
That's such a gift to realize that at such an early age.
100%.
Like the amount of people that go through life where they're like fucking, me included up until now, it's like, what are you gonna do for like your life and whatnot? Do you know what I mean?
Man, such a gift, and like especially like getting me through those adolescent years. Like, there's like being in a small town, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends were, got pretty wrapped up in like drugs and alcohol. Yeah. And
small town.
Some of them didn't ever walk away from that.
Yeah, or even do you know like the small town syndrome of like going out and drink and then going for a fight, and it's just
all of that was there.
Yeah, it's like fuck that.
And
was that part of it? And obviously, to move to Vancouver was to obviously chase the dream.
I mean, to move to Vancouver, it was kind of like I was in a place that was so small. I had to go somewhere. Yeah. And the move to Vancouver was I wanted to just like learn more, and like I'd quit learning at this point. I was just like there was no one else to learn from, and I was kind of like I'm bored.
And by this time you were, how old were you?
So I moved out here. I moved to Victoria when I was 18. No way. And Victoria's cool. And I learned how to surf and like I learned how to rock climb and do all this other cool stuff. But after almost a year of that, I was kind of like still feeling fulfilled like with the music. I had a band out there and it was cool, but it wasn't really like working. So I enrolled in music college out here.
No way.
And I did 2 years at a music college in Vancouver. That kind of like got me here. For 2 years I just was here and just studying and just working on that. And
just to interrupt, I heard, and this is just me hearing it off a podcast, but apparently, I think, do you know Fred again?
Fred again, yeah.
So he went to a music college, and he was saying that like just being in a college that is surrounded with people just focused on music, and you're walking through the dorms, and you're like, you hear other people playing their own shit. It drives you to do your own stuff. It makes you, like, it puts a boot up your arse.
I would say music college is good for that. Being Vancouver as eclectic as it is, I've found so much of that just here in the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Music college helped open that door, and now that door has been opened, like every day I get to now interact with people that are just doing their own thing, and like it's so cool. It's so inspiring. So I mean, I couldn't have hoped it gone better moving from Bragg Creek, where it was like me, myself, and I playing guitar in my basement.
Yeah.
I played blues. I was a blues player. That was all I played. And I came out here and was opened up to all these different other types of music, and like all these other different people. And, I was playing with Paul. We're doing Irish songs. And like, I play with like these country bands now, and like all this stuff. And I'm like,
even to move on to, or to, it's a perfect segue, is your band BADMNY is basically you would be blues, and
it's a spread.
It is spread, but it's such a perfect. Now it's like blues, funk. It's rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's really sweet, man.
Well, it's cool because like I think that there's three. So BADMNY, 3 guys. Like Terran, the drummer, comes from a background of like DJing. Well, and he was a big producer back in Korea.
Yeah.
And like really big.
No way.
Like really big.
He was very modest when he came on the show. Yeah.
It's pretty big. Like
Unreal.
think as big gets. So he's fucking big. There's a draft in Korea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's here.
Yeah.
So he comes from like an epic background of like pop music, K-pop.
Yeah.
And then our other singer and our bass player was playing in a thrash metal band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, like what the fuck? And then like I came to the table being like, okay, like I play country music, like I play the country music that you hear on the radio, like I play like blues music, and what can we do with this, So it's good melting pot, because there's this very raw aspect of the band. It's very rock and roll, but there's also a very like commercial aspect of the band, which we love. Like we love writing songs that people sing along to,
100%,
and like that kind of thing. So but definitely greater than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean? Like if by surrounding yourself with people that are different than you
kind of cap out and you don't learn.
Yeah. So we get more because there's so many differences between us.
Yeah.
Like it's
and that's
pretty cool.
great. So what I never asked Terran when he was on, actually. How did you come up with BADMNY as the name of the band?
BADMNY, I think it was just something we said, and we thought like we were counting up the money one night. So we were a busking band.
Yeah.
That's where we started, and we would busk like a lot. And this was a weird time, like.
It was summer in Kits.
It was summer in Kits, and I just lost.
After COVID as well. Sorry for.
It was like no, it was like 2020, so it was like that second year. COVID was kind of like winding down.
Yeah.
So we'd go play on the beach, and people loved it. Like they literally.
It was so sweet. Yeah.
There was no other thing to do in Vancouver, and people were really going through a hard time. And we would just play music and like have a good time. That was it, and it became like a really established thing. We would go every weekend, like kind of like as many nights as we could do in a week, and people would recognize us, and they would come back they would come back. We were like, see you next week, 8
Dude, there
o'clock.
was
And people,
nearly like 300 people there. Like,
it's crazy. Like
madness,
and it was also a time in the world where like 300 people being on a beach was
kind
like
of scary.
Crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
and the cops would be coming in and being like, fucking shut her down. And like, but so it was just a weird time. It was a really weird time. And I don't ever expect that kind of thing to happen again to me. Being like,
sorry, I'm gonna hold that. Oh, my bad.
No, it's all good. Oh, cheers. You can clear that one
Yeah,
down.
cheers. Oh man, I was holding that back for a while. No, but you're right though, man.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
In a sense, it was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's almost rebellious as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
like, I was in a weird time. Like, I lost my job, and then I lost my housing. So I was like living in my car when we were doing that.
No way,
and
man.
Like, and we were like making money. We'd make usually we'd average about $200 per busking session.
No
We'd
way.
split it up.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, that's like literally like going in the gas tank so I can like keep existing. And we'd be getting money, and we'd be like, it doesn't matter how you get it. Like, there's no such thing as bad money. Was I think something that we're talking about, you know, and we're like, fuck, like, we don't really have a band name. We should probably just pick one, you know what I mean? So that's what we picked. We picked the name BADMNY, and then we like, you know, made like an acronym out of it to be cool. And then, and that was that. We were like off to the races, and you know, Terran and Gabriel have been like a huge part of my life ever since. But no, when we started, it was like fully, like, I was like chilling, like I'd been living in my car. I'd like I quit my job. I didn't lose my job.
Fuck them guys.
Yeah, I quit my job, so I should point that out. I don't want to say woe is me because I quit that job, but yeah. And then you know, so it definitely started at like literally ground zero because we were playing on the street, and we were driving around the city in my van, like putting on little shows, and people would come out and they would see us there, and yeah. It's cool.
You were jamming together. You started writing songs.
Yeah.
Then you met up with Jeff, and you Black Widow was the first one. Alter Ego, and now it was the 9th of February. You dropped Head is Spinning.
Head is Spinning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. It's been so we got 3 more already recorded. We're gonna be putting them out throughout like the spring.
Oh,
and the
no
summer.
way.
And our next plans is to do an album. So
Nice.
we're gonna keep going and keep ramping it up.
So nowadays, we were talking about this before we started recording, but like when you're recording an album,
yeah.
back in the day, it used to be like 24, 21, 22 songs.
Yeah.
Now it's shortened down. So do you have a set list of you're going to write as many songs as you can, and then just
I mean, one number that we tossed around was like, you know, probably like Bruce Springsteen wrote 100 songs for Born to Run.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot, you know. Like
Yeah,
something where it's like, if you can write 100 good songs, there's 12 in there that are gonna fucking change the world, you know. Or at least be the best you can do. Like, you know, you could confidently 1 in 10. So
that challenge is even to whittle
hard.
down the 100 to 12 is crazy, right?
I mean, even to just stay focused to get 100 songs out. So
is that the plan, to get 100?
We'll see what happens. I think right now we're at a place where we've been formulating a plan to write this next album, and we're trying to formulate what that looks like.
Yeah.
So that we can commit to that track.
Yeah,
and
100%.
start going for it. So we write all the time, and we, you know, but right now we've just been saying, you know what, let's just write a song a week and see how that goes.
It's the short goals into the...
Yeah, just kind of try and ramp it up. But yeah, when it comes to like creativity and songwriting, it's all about just like...
You can't pressure it.
Yeah, like you've got to choose your moments well.
Yeah.
But you also need to know when you're in that moment. Like if you're feeling something, like if I've got Post-it notes, something I took from Paul. I've got Post-it notes all over my bedroom.
Oh, his album.
And all over my desk.
Oh,
I've got Post-it notes,
yeah.
and I've got probably 8 or 9 books of like lyrics and songs going just like all scattered all over the house, because I'll be like, and when I'm cooking breakfast, I got a guitar in my hand, and I'll just be like doing my thing. And something might pop into your head, and I'll write it down on one of these post-it notes, or I'll play something. Because like, yeah, if you want to write 100 songs, you've kind of got to be like
on top of it.
On top of writing stuff all the time. So,
no way.
BADMNY aside, even just for me, like to write 100 songs in a year, like that's a huge goal.
Oh, it's massive.
But you know, it's one of those goals where I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going for it
Oh,
anyways.
you can smash it. You can smash it. You never know.
I know that I just, it's one of those things where like, it's probably fucking impossible, but I'm going to shoot for it anyways and hope for the best, because then at least if you end up with 50 songs, you've done something crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
Did you, just so you were saying that you cooking breakfast and you're playing the guitar, apparently when you wake up in that dream state, or from that dream state, that's when you're, for a writer, it's supposed to be, do you find that you write better in the morning then?
No, I feel like absolute dog shit in the morning. I'm like not a morning person. So,
no way.
I would, but like I try, like I do come up with, like, I think the focus that you have in the morning at the start of the day, and the ability to not be distracted is cool. So that's why, like, I have next to my bed, I'll have like a book of words, and I'll have a pen and paper always, because sometimes you'll wake up and you'll write stuff down, and I've gotten songs out of that before. Like, you'll be dreaming and you'll hear something.
I think John Lennon came up with fucking Yellow Submarine or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes sense though. Like, if you're experiencing music all day long, then you go into your dreams and you hear the songs. Like, then you wake up and you're like, that was a good song. You're like, wait a minute, I made that up. That was in my dream. Like, what the fuck was that? So, yeah, like, the mornings are good. Yeah.
Going back to, you were just touching on there, you were writing songs for the band and then writing songs for yourself. How does it decipher differently?
Honestly, it's like super clear. I think, like,
you'll write something and then check with the guys, and then
if the song goes doom digga doom digga doom digga doom digga doom digga doom, I'm like, they are not gonna like that. Like, you know, so I don't think they're gonna be into that. Yeah, like, so, you know, if it's like more,
is it more like left and right side of your brain of like, okay, I'm gonna tap into this, and then
yeah, like, I'd say you're right. Like, it's like sometimes you write a song and it's just this like abstract like thing that comes out, and you're just trying to like let it come out and I'll think about it. And then sometimes, as in the instance of BADMNY songs, I'll like, there'll be a lyric that we all come up with, or there'll be a lyric, maybe I bring in the lyric, and it'll be something like, I think this is fucking catchy, like I think this will make a cool chorus, I think this will make a cool song,
i.e. that
I think this will like hit, you know what I mean? And then we'll go off that, and it's, you know, it's a bit more premeditated, you know, and like a bit more thoughtful in terms of trying to like really craft a song that.
So who came up with the whole Black Widow whip is swinging?
We wrote that one in my kitchen. We like.
No way.
So we wrote it. This was back in the van days when I was living in the van. So we wrote it in my van. We were like, we used to have nowhere to rehearse. Before we had we rent a studio now. We rehearse there. Before we had that, we would rehearse either. We would drive out to Spanish Banks, and we'd pull our gear out in the middle of the night when no one was there, and we'd play there.
No way.
Like literally, we did that all the time. We had a generator and we play there, or we would play. There's these tunnels and kits. We'd go play in the tunnels, and we'd play there when no one was there, and like literally the middle of the night. Or we'd sit in my
strategic band practice.
It's so crazy, but it was free. It was free, and like, or we'd sit in my van, in the back of my van, all sitting in the seats, and we'd play there. So we wrote Black Widow there, and then we sat in my kitchen. We wrote the words. And it was just one of those things where somebody said something, they're like, Black Widow. Ooh, whip is spitting. You know, like, and it just kind of comes together. So writing songs is weird. Like sometimes you're like, sometimes it just all comes out in one.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you write some stuff down and you go, that's great. I don't want to change that. That sounds cool. And sometimes you're in a setting where there's lots of stuff going on and you're like pulling inspiration from everywhere. Like, you know, the main thing is that you feel something and you have a reaction.
Yeah.
And you put that onto paper and you bring that to life. You know, like it's not enough to just have this emotional response. You've got to like say something. You've got to like capture it. So that's like
from kind of like studying you for the last while, and just listening to your music. Your single or your solo stuff. You have Okanagan Prayer.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola Prayer. Sorry.
Okanagan Prayer is just the wine. You know, like just the wine.
But you wrote that while you were driving. You were stuck in a storm on the highway.
So you know it's funny because that whole project, all those songs were written from like real life experience.
Yeah, it's man. I was like, Jesus, this dude. He always writes songs while he was driving on the highway. I was like, I'd love to go on a road trip with you. You know?
She'd be coming around the mountain when we would be. No, I feel okay. I love driving so much.
Yeah.
I think like growing up in the prairies, it's like not weird. Like I grew up an hour outside of the city. Okay. So like my bus ride to high school was like an hour and a half.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
Christ.
like
you're getting up early.
You get up at like so.
No wonder you hate
mornings. I spent so much time just sitting in a car or like a vehicle, and like get groceries is like an hour away. Like no joke. Like I would like go.
Man, if you wake up and you have no milk in the morning, you are fucked.
You're so fucked. I don't know. That's my parents' problem.
Dry cereal.
Yeah, that's like fuck.
Fucking cornflakes again.
Fuck this.
Dude, just on the side note, this is so like bullshit, but our uncle back in the day, he was a police officer, but he was efficient. He was a very efficient man, right? And instead of using milk, right, he would put orange juice in his cornflakes.
No.
Because it's disgusting. Yeah,
I feel like that's that's hard. That's fucking hard. Like I feel
that's tough on your stomach.
That's tough on it's character building. You know what I mean? Start going to your cousins, just like man up, like put some OJ in your cornflakes.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
I don't know if to be like, I'm like kind of really intimidated right now. That's your bloodline.
I don't know. Concentrate, please. From concentrate.
This podcast brought to you in part by Concentrate.
So so like go like writing songs while driving.
I mean, just like the thing is, like when you think about it though, like okay, so the majority
of the songs were written. Does your radio work in your car? You're like, fuck. No, it's perfect. It's such a good idea though. Like,
okay,
you're getting epic songs from like that. I keep on saying Okanagan.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Okay, so like all those songs you mentioned.
Coca-Cola Prayer. That was on.
Did I send you that, or how did that?
Dude, this is what I'm saying. It's Mezcal and Music on
it's
YouTube.
On there.
And
I was like, did the record get leaked?
No, man, it's on Instagram. It's on YouTube. Go watch all these music. It's on YouTube, man.
Oh my god, that's
super talented.
Okay, context. They're all recorded and they're gonna be released.
Yeah.
And all the songs you're talking about, I wrote them all around the same time. I did a road trip and I drove down to Nashville.
Oh, no way.
And I spent like a few weeks in Nashville, a few weeks in New Orleans and stuff, and like just wrote songs. Because I was...
You have another one, is it Kansas Moon?
Oh, Texas
Moon.
Yeah.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Yeah, like even that one, like I wrote that one in Luckenbach, Texas.
It's gorgeous.
I was just like...
Yeah.
I went to a place where Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings used to like live and record songs, and I got to play some of the songs that they wrote at the play. Like I went and I played like a little like thing there. I like they do like a there's this resident musician that plays there, and I like hit him. I let him know. I was like, I play. Like, do you want to play? So I jumped up on stage and we played for all these people, and it was so emotional for me because the people that had recorded in Lukenbach, Texas, and Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings were so meaningful to me.
This is where you were. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
But you were living off fried bologna and.
Yeah. I was I was in Texas and I was in my van for about
Pabst
a month,
and
I was just drinking Pabst and eating fried bologna every day.
What's that taste like? Is it good?
Oh man, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. Yeah, that was my thing. Because I played at the Bluebird, and I was like, I came to Nashville to come write songs, and all I did was drink Pabst and eat fried bologna.
But you wrote a song from there.
Wrote a song. I wrote songs from all that experience. I did a big road trip. It was about a month, and a lot of the songs would be written while I'm driving around, because for me, there's this thing that, like, when you're driving, and I'd be driving, like, the distance from here to, like, I went all the way to New Orleans. It's like 7,000 kilometers or something like that. Like, I was driving like hours and hours a day. Like, I was driving so much every day. And your mind just starts to, like, go
yonder. Yeah,
like I'm like looking at the road for, like,
But even you're going off and just jumping from song to song, but your lyrics resemble that. You know that you're on a road. Like, you're looking, and you're cross-referencing it, but like even your album,
the Rocky
Mountain Sun. It's nearly like a love song to the Rockies, in a sense, where it's fucking gorgeous, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I really, really appreciate your music, and I really I recommend everyone to go and check it out. Cause
that's awesome.
No, man, I was singing it when we came in here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
It's vaguely Irish. It's vaguely Irish. I don't know if you would agree. If you don't agree, I fully.
Man. 100%,
I love these
100%.
like American songwriters like Steve Earle who write Irish songs, like Galway Girl and stuff like that. And I'm like, you've no business writing about Ireland, but like I love it anyways.
But man, this is I don't know if you know it, but back in the day, the very first recorded song on record, mass produced, was called the Irish Eyes Are Smiling. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I stumbled over that. Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and it was done by. Do you know how like popular music now? Pop music is kind of like taken from hip hop or R&B.
Yeah.
The very first ones, it was like Irishy twangs. So.
Really?
Yeah. So it's very
in the culture.
Yeah, and so like Irish people, back in the day as well, there was Irish people are great at funerals, right? So they used to like. Employ keeners. A keener is like a professional mourner, and they'd stand in the corner and they'll fucking cry.
What?
Yeah, they'll cry in a singing tone. So the Cranberries' Zombie. Do you know how she's like, zombie? I can't sing. Zombie.
What's that?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Zombie. I actually sounded like fucking someone from...
That was really accurate, actually. Though. Like I knew exactly what you were talking about.
When you were a kid fucking busking, I was getting money
you were in the karaoke bar. Like,
I was at a funeral stop.
You were at the funeral.
But so it's basically all taken from that and
really
pushed over, especially because
man, that's why I'm so excited to go to Ireland. Like it's for the music. I'm so excited for the music.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, man.
Like getting to know Brian O'Brien and Paul Caldwell.
Yeah,
and like Paul is a huge influence.
Paul is the man.
Paul is one of my favorite writers here in Vancouver.
Yeah,
and he's a huge influence, and it's crazy that we like just go and grab beers and hang out, because I'm like, it's weird to do it with someone that you look up to.
Yeah, it's cool.
And but like that whole Irish music tradition and like the
goes
writing
back,
and the singing,
years and centuries.
It's amazing. Well, in Canada doesn't really have that. Like, there's some Canadian, like Stan Rogers is a Canadian singer-songwriter, like a folk, and he's like a historian of Canada with his music, and I love that stuff. That's what I love about Irish music as well, is they're like telling these stories of like where they came from and like what has happened, and that kind of music I love, and like that's why I wrote that album the way I did, is just because like I was like, I went on this trip, but like the trip came at a point in life where like a lot of things had happened, and I needed to leave Vancouver and go like escape for a bit and think about them, and all these songs came out of that.
No way.
And that's kind of like where all the metaphors like Rocky Mountain Sun came from. It was like the whole album is based around like you leave one place, you come to another, and there's this like identity.
Finding yourself and also letting go of yourself
Finding
as
yourself,
well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And like finding yourself and letting it go, and like so much of that process I did like with either guitar in my hands or like behind the wheel of a car, and like
With the
like
guitar in your hand.
with a guitar, just driving with the knee, right?
And fucking another thing as well, where like obviously I moved over here to Canada in 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's the things that you hate about your home. You're like, oh, I need to get away from it. But then when you actually go away, you actually like.
Well, you probably realize there's so much of you, right?
Yeah, you look back and you're like, I fucking love
like Nickelback.
that stuff.
Do you know Nickelback? I fucking hated Nickelback when I was a kid. I hated Nickelback, and you know what? I hated all this pop country stuff on the radio because that's what was cool. And I was like, fuck you. And then I move away, and I'm like, that stuff's pretty good.
Can you remember when Nickelback did that song for Spider-Man movie?
They say a hero can save us. Dude, amazing.
That was the height for me. I was like, this is a sick song.
Yeah.
But then it was only the lights turned off. Oh, I'm sorry, no worries. The hero can save us.
Yeah.
And then I was just hearing like I don't know, like was it the media were like, oh no, Nickelback are shit.
Yeah.
It was not. It was literally like this fucking. Were they trying to cancel him earlier? I don't know what the fuck was the bad thing
I don't know.
about it.
I mean, I know that, you know.
I think Nickelback are good, man.
Yeah, I think they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They're also one of the most popular bands in the world. So it's so funny that they're like, everyone's like,
No
I hate
way.
Nickelback.
That's what happens.
They're like,
though.
you know
Everyone
what?
loves you on the way up, and then once you make it, they're like, oh no, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They love the journey.
That's like a very like they're like super like they're from Alberta, so they're like
Yeah.
big band there, and like a lot of stuff. You're right, like you grow up with it, and then you hate it, and then you move away, and you
Man,
realize
for us it's you too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I fucking love you two now,
Yeah.
like. But back in the day, it's like, oh no, Bono's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you realize like there's a lot of things that where you grow up from that you like,
Yeah.
And the things that you don't like are equally a part of you. Whether
Yes.
you it's and you get that perspective whether you like it
Ingrained
or
in you.
not.
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
you are also a product of your environment.
Yeah, fact.
You know, so like Rocky Mountain Sun, it's like kind of like it's like, you know, this double-edged sword where it's like, man, there's stuff I fucking love about being from Alberta, and people from here will never understand. You know, like growing up in the mountains and like in the prairies, and like how much that connection to that land like means. And there's stuff about Alberta that like I wish would change. You know what I mean? Like Alberta has this like terrible reputation as being like very conservative and stuff like very conservative in a way that is like, you know, like harmful to others. And
Oh,
like,
no way.
I got no place for that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like, fuck that. Like I've got no place for that. I had no place for it then. I have no place for it now.
Yeah.
But there's parts of it I adore.
Yeah,
So it's like,
100%.
you know, being in a city like Vancouver where people want to like typecast you a certain way. You know, I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like you don't get what it's about.
Especially we both come from like a smaller town.
Yeah.
What I moved away from, and this is what going back to my point of the locals. Like I'm not saying the locals were bad, but it was like everyone would. You're walking down the street, everyone would say hi to you.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, how are you? What's the crack? What's happening?
miss
You know what I
that.
mean? And then you're like, oh fuck. Now you're in Vancouver and you're like, I only got a dog for a while, and no one cared about me until I got a dog, and they're like, oh, I love your dog. I was like, what about me? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
People, like, I know just people. I think it's just people in cities in general.
Yeah,
you know, being around all
100%.
these people, like you kind of get desensitized to like
100%.
seeing human beings. But you're so right. Like being in a small town, like no one will really understand what it's like to
100%.
like actually know everybody by name and like know their story and like what they're about, and like it's like this community that is really strong.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Fact. But the best thing about being in a city is you can create your own community.
You can create your. Yeah.
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 Well, and there's so many people that you can pick from.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's why I came here.
Yeah,
it was like fuck, like I was like I want to see what else is out there, and like man, did Vancouver blow my small little mind?
Oh, 100%.
Like I came into here, and then all these other people were like, had their own lives and their own perspectives, and like, you know, just being exposed to all this stuff. It's like, amazing. So blessed for that. So like,
so cool.
Yeah.
When is Mountain Rockin' Sun coming out?
Dude,
the hot question
well, no, so like, literally, where it's at right now, it is like I've been working with.
Is it like, do you have all your songs set?
The songs have been set since October.
Oh, no way!
It's done. The album's been done.
Holy
for
shit!
A minute.
You're just waiting for the right time.
Can't name the label right now.
You can if you want. You can do whatever.
No, I don't want to because.
Oh, like, no worries.
We can't name the label right now, but we're working with a label.
Unreal.
And it's just like one of these legal things where they're like, okay, we're gonna release it by this day, but I haven't signed the contract yet because.
You want someone to look over it or
like,
whatever.
Like it's just been like this kind of back and forth thing.
Yeah.
You know, so the contract's going back and forth. So, you know, the original date was February 28th, which is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening because the things haven't been signed yet. But, you know, if not then probably like next month, like probably in March.
No way.
So I'm really excited. It's weird though because I recorded the songs about a year ago. Like I started working on this project wintertime a year ago, and I finished all the songs and I wrote all the songs and we recorded them in the summertime, and then I got all the bits and bobs mastered in the fall. So it's, you know, it was like, that was like a year of my life, and then now I'm like next year, and I'm like, all right, put it out. Holy fuck!
Yeah,
like put it out. Like I don't care anymore. I've literally written so many other songs. I'm like, I don't care about these songs anymore.
You're getting the 100 in a year, right?
Yeah, I was like, get them out there. But
we get 2 more Guinnesses there. We knocked these back.
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's do it. We have one last try and getting the splitting the E.
Oh hell yeah! Oh,
there we go.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. You ready?
I'm born ready. Cheers.
Man, it's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. Cheers.
I got it.
Look at that.
We both got it. Oh, I'm fucking brilliant. That is a winner, all right. Fair play.
Holy fuck, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the club.
Oh no, we knew that we fucked up the first time.
No, we were only like, keeping it fucking, keeping them in suspense, right?
That's not gonna happen again.
Sick. Yeah, shout out to the Forge for having us and supplying the best Guinness. Unreal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love Guinness. Yeah.
I love Guinness.
I love Guinness so much. I just love it. Thank you.
Thanks God for.
Cheers, Irish. Cheers to the Irish. I fucking love the Irish people so much.
Unreal, man. Yeah. So back to you don't know, maybe at the end of this month, next month.
I wish I could say.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's
keep your ears to the ground.
Keep your ears to the ground. Keep following along. You know. And,
how many songs you have in the album?
It's not. No, it's just. So it's an EP. So it's like 6 songs. You know, it's like.
Okay.
And then.
But in the meantime.
You know.
Mescal and Music have YouTube of you.
Yeah.
So if you just search your name, and then there's I'm going to get the name wrong. Snippy Dog.
Snip Doggy.
Yeah, Snip Doggy.
Snip Doggy. Yeah. They did a.
They have a lot of production
live
of you
footage
as well.
thing.
Where was that?
That was in Wayne, Alberta.
That's
gorgeous.
gorgeous,
It's a ghost
man.
town. So Wayne only has like 20 people that live there.
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding. So they do this festival called Wayne Stock, and like thousands of people come out to this festival.
Is that what you did?
It's so sick. So we did that. We did that live on like I think it was the final night of the festival, and we got like a good slot. We were on like 9 o'clock.
Were you up on the hill?
Oh, so we did it. We filmed this video like up on this crazy like
It's nearly 360.
Yeah, it's like insane.
yeah,
it's
beautiful.
this big. So that's in the prairies of Alberta. Like that's like this crazy, and it looks like you're in Arizona. Like
Yeah, it does.
like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in like this big like coulee, and it's cool. So
Yeah,
we
that's sweet.
did that, and then they did a live video as well that night when we played.
In the show, yes.
And it was great. It was great. We were all the boys. We were pretty cooked on mushrooms, and we were just like, there's like a 5-minute guitar solo in the song, and you can see a guy in the front row standing like this. He fucking hates it. You know what I mean? He was from one of the other bands, and he's like, fuck you. And then me and the boys were all cooked on mushrooms, and we're like in full like Grateful Dead mode.
Yeah.
Just like like grooving out and fuck. I look at that and I'm like, who's that guy? I don't know. Fucking
That's your Mountie Rockin' son right
Dude,
there.
that's the he was like, fuck this. You're my Rocky Mountain son.
Your
We can go to
alter
hell.
ego there. Your head is spinning. Oh, I can quote them all, man. You know what I mean?
You do your research.
I tried to. So, coming up,
Yeah.
March 7th, Elevate
Yeah.
project.
This happened as we were setting up the podcast.
Yes.
We announced that my band BADMNY got through the next round of
To the finals.
of this. Yeah, we got through to the finals of Elevate Music.
Explain a little bit of that. 'Cause
Yeah, it's basically just a battle of the bands, but
Oh,
on
cool,
like,
cool,
kind
cool,
of like
cool.
like you apply to get in, and then you do 2 rounds, and then the final round is at the Vogue Theater,
Oh, unreal.
which is like unreal. It's like, I think the Vogue's like 1,200 seats or something like that. So it'll be probably like, you know, for us, we haven't played any gigs that big, so
That's sick,
it'll be great for the boys. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked,
Yeah.
and we've been upping our game every level.
Oh, 100%.
So
And man, you
should be
did
pretty
the
special.
music video. I before I was
Yeah.
gonna call it there, but like, how was the music video? That's fucking
Man, that
sick,
was-
man.
Dude, so like being a band, it's like all about like what can you, how do you make stuff happen that looks great and do it on a shoestring budget? So,
Yeah.
Man, we did that whole music video for less than $1,000.
No
it was
way.
Crazy. Brash Productions.
Shout out.
Shout out
100%.
Brash Productions. He like helped us out. He made some calls. He got us this like audio visual equipment.
Where was the studio?
And dude, we found a dance studio in Richmond.
I thought you were gonna say like
Yeah.
a tunnel in Kitsilano.
The tunnel.
No,
in That's like, we should go. We got noise complaints from the tunnel. They'll never have us back. I'm not even. We had some angry neighbors at the tunnel.
the dance studio's wicked.
I'd love
Yeah,
to.
unreal.
So we filmed the whole thing in like a dance studio, and like we made that whole thing in like 3 hours. We like filmed all the footage, and then Matt Brash edited. It was so sick. So we were like really stoked about that. And,
No, it's
like,
pretty cool, man.
And
Yeah.
as a band, you know, there's this pressure to put out albums and put out videos and put out stuff like that. But like, we don't have any fucking money. Like we every cent that we earn from the band gets reinvested.
Yeah.
Back into putting on more shows for people and growing it. So, you know, when people see stuff like that, it's like, because we paid for it. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, we busted our asses. So our first
It's
all
show,
our
man.
first singles we made from
everything
busking.
that you're doing is showing 100%.
Well,
True
thank
and
you.
true.
Yeah,
True
thank
and
you.
true.
It was crazy. Like all those first songs that you mentioned that we released, like we recorded those all at Armory Studios.
Yeah.
It's this beautiful. It's built like a church. It's got this big high ceiling. It's
Oh,
this
wow.
massive studio. And, Nickelback's recorded there. AC/DC, Van Halen, Bon Jovi, everyone, and they've all recorded there. And we rented that studio to go make
Not
our
to be
debut.
too hippy dippy,
Hippie.
but when you were walking in, did you get to feel like, oh, this is something special?
Holy shit! Did we get the feel? It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was amazing, like so amazing.
No way.
It blew my mind past what I expected. Like it was so amazing. And I remember we literally got the money for that. We busked. We would busk and we'd set the money aside. We go, okay, well, we're gonna record some music and we're gonna make our debut as a band.
Sorry.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're gonna make our debut as a band. So we like made that money from the streets, and then we walk into it's the best studio in Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, fuck, we made it.
Yeah.
We made it here. Like, holy shit.
Frickin', it's a
So-
far cry from 14-year-old you cutting lawns to
It's the same thing,
living
bro.
in your van now you're fucking, do you know what I mean?
I mean, like, it's all the same thing. It's just like, you know, like you let the music has honestly always come first. And apologies to all my ex-girlfriends, and probably shouldn't say that.
And to future ones.
Future. You know who you are.
Valentine's Day tomorrow, man. Box of chocolates, you'd be grand.
We're in the trenches, man. We're trying.
I mean, your honesty and generosity will never escape my memory. Thank you so much for coming on the show. What's your Instagram handle, both the band and yourself?
Yeah, so the band, if you want to hear the band, it's at BADMNY, BADMNY, and we're a rock and roll band. And then my solo project is Emmett Jerome Music, so EMMETTJEROME, and fucking yeah, 100%. Hell yeah, split the E with my boy. Thank you, dude.
Cheers, man. Go on.
The crack, excellent crack.
Crack is
excellent crack.
Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share the shit out of it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Unreal.